Finally, peace and quiet. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today I'm taking a look at the Amazon exclusive Marvel Legends series Family Matters set. Did I do that? But before getting into that, a lot of people have commented that Amazon is just slapping their stickers on the box itself, or it's wrapped in cardboard or something. Mine actually came in kind of a, is it a custom? Well, it's a box the exact size of the actual pack. In fact, this is probably the best thing I've ever gotten packed from Amazon. Electronics, camera equipment, toys, it's usually thrown in a bigger box and just kind of rumbling around in there. They say it's like an option to either get the cardboard or get no cardboard, but I didn't even see that. I was on the floor at Toy Fair just trying to get it ordered before it sold out, which it never sold out, so I guess that was all for naught. In fact, it's exact size. That's crazy. Looking at the packaging, it's your standard box set packaging. You have the big window showing most of what's coming in here. I guess, well, it shows everything except for their feet. It has the 80th anniversary logo, the names of the characters, X-Men logo, big old warning right there on the front. On the side, some artwork showing Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver. On the back, just a little bit of history of this family, and then some pictures from the actual comics. Now, what is crazy here is that mostly Quicksilver, but even Scarlet Witch isn't shown in the costume that they're in on the action figure. In fact, Quicksilver's shown in green here, and I think that's green, and here, and the only blue one is right there. While Scarlet Witch is shown in more of her classic headdress here, and then kind of matches right there. That same comic picture on the other side. On the top, you get the X logo. On the bottom, more legalese, barcode. So, let's see what's going on here. Your standard capes through the back tray. Get out of the package. Oh, very interesting set with some very high highs, but not without its problems either. Looking at Quicksilver first, he is built on, what is this, the Spider-Man 2099/Sunfire body. And it may be just a little bit bulky for a runner, but it's also very svelte, very streamlined. I'm okay with this body for a speedster. Do they call them speedsters in Marvel? I can't even remember. The body does have duck feet, but that seems to be a running theme. Get it? That seems to be a running theme with Quicksilver figures. You have your very nice forward and back butterfly joints at the shoulders, and that just helps you get some awesomely dynamic running poses. The forearms, the hands, the shins, the feet are all in swirly twirly plastic. It gives a nice effect, but it would have been cooler if that transitioned over to the lightning on the torso too, just to kind of match it all together. Unfortunately, that is just paint. It's close, but it's not swirly twirly. And on top of that, it is a little bit rough in places. Down here in the deep crevice of the back, even, well, a high point of the back, kind of missed right there. But it is nice to have Pietro in his classic blue uniform. But I don't know if the same can be said about the head. The head's a nice sculpt. It totally works all around. It's got the cocky eyebrow raised right there, just like cocky Quicksilver. But I feel like it's missing the hair horns that we see so much in classic renditions of Quicksilver in the comics. They did do a nice speed effect here on the back where the hair looks like it's just flying back from high speeds. So you can justify it as the hair horns are laid back in the wind. But on top of that, they also went with a gray color. I feel like the hair should have been closer to the eyebrows, more of a white color. I also can't help seeing the head as big. But they've also done that to Quicksilver in the comics. Big head syndrome, I don't know. Also, one last gripe, just because it sticks out at me and I'm used to seeing it in the comics, I wish the neck was painted flesh where it came down just like old school Quicksilver. He had his neck exposed from the costume. Scarlet Witch looking fantastic in this set. The body reuse of the first Scarlet Witch with this sculpted torso part right here, it just looks great on her. This time around they did use the forearms of Kitty Pryde to give her glove cuffs, but she retains the spell-casting hands. Also reused from Kitty Pryde is the feet. They get rid of the high heels that I hated about the last Scarlet Witch figure. Looks nice, but you go to stand her and if you have this figure, you know better. If you get it off a little bit from center, she's gonna fall. But apparently not today. The cape is reused from the last Scarlet Witch. It kind of bunches up around the neck, and then it's open in the back. It hangs down really nicely. A little bit heavy, kind of drags her back a little bit, but the cape is long enough to right here, and without the high heels, it works nicely as a kickstand to hold her up. And as you can see, the pink is swirly twirly here, and a lot of people have a problem with that, as well as how dark the colors are here. There's been so many renditions of Scarlet Witch over the years that you could probably find comic art that matches this figure. And as I always say about the swirly twirly plastic, it's ethereal, it's kind of magical, which is very, very fitting for a character like Scarlet Witch. But I think the real draw here is the head. This hair sculpt, this face sculpt, the iconic headdress, the way they painted the eyes in there, the eyeliner, the lips, the wash to the hair to bring out all that beautiful detail, these little tufts of hair sticking out from under the headdress. Oh my god, this thing just completely works. Remember the days of terrible female Marvel Legends head sculpts? Remember back to the first Scarlet Witch from Toy Biz? Oh, this is light years beyond that. The kind of metallic sheen to the green eyes just stand out against the whole body here. They're magical. And then there is Magneto himself, another character that has so many renditions through the years that you could put him on anybody and it works. You could put little costume changes to it and it would work, except for apparently painting this part red right here and making him look like he's wearing booties. The internet has spoken. That will not work. This one uses the Spider-Man UK or Spider UK body. It's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit thinner, but it's still muscled all to hell, so it works for other renditions, other than Jim Lee for Magneto. They did come along and give him sculpted forearms along with the shin with the boots on them, but the cape is reused from that older Toys R Us wave Magneto, or am I thinking of the wrong one? This one was a little bit harder to get if I remember right, but you notice the collar on the new one is a little bit more purple. Definitely better body though. But we run into the same problem with the cape of it being just a big heavy piece of plastic. It looks okay when it's just sitting there with the shoulders sticking up like this, but it is heavy. But for whatever reason, they've added this right here to keep it floating off the body. So when you do have it plugged in, it's got a tendency to just kind of, I don't know, hang around. I feel like it should be glued down right here. But being on this body and that cape being that heavy, he is very hard to stand up. You got to lean him forward a little bit. If it were a little bit longer, it'd work as a kickstand, but see how he's leaning forward? But then again, it's Magneto. He's going to be on a flat stand, so I can't grab too much. Getting up to the head, it's a nice sculpt. I dig the helmet. I like the crest. And then the face underneath isn't too bad. He's kind of bored looking, but at the same time, maybe he's contemplating. Maybe he's, thinking 2 steps ahead. The helmet does give him kind of a cone head, but we'll look at that here in a minute, here later when we look at the alternate head. Articulation-wise, there is a hinge at the top of the neck with a ball up into the head. He can look up, can bury the chin. Not a lot of tilt. Swivel. Butterfly joint at the shoulder goes forward, goes back really, really far. Shoulder hinges out. Swivel. Rotation at the bicep. Double elbow, a little past 90. There's just not a lot of cutout here. Hinge at the wrist. Swivel. Hinge of the torso goes forward, arcs back, rotation at the waist. Ball at the hip comes up past 90. Back, not so much. Out, 45. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee comes up, not quite, but most of the way. Swivel at the boot. Hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, and forward facing pin for rocker. Articulation on Scarlet Witch. The cost of having all this beautiful hair is that it kills most of the head movement. Not a lot of forward, not a lot of back, no tilt. Little bit of swivel. It looks damn fantastic. It's just not functional. Hinge and swivel at the shoulder. Arm comes up to about 90. Rotation. Well, you're going to run into the hair. You can bring it out, rotate it back, but then the cape, and then comes around. Hinge and swivel at the elbow. Doesn't even reach 90. Hinge. Rotation. Ball joint in the mid-torso. Gets a little bit of forward, a little bit of back, a little bit of tilt, tilt. Ball at the hip. Leg comes forward, back, out. Swivel. Double knee, not quite, but most of the way. Hinge at the ankle, back, forward, and then some rocker. For Magneto, let's remove the cape. Hinge at the neck, going up to a ball. He can bury his chin, can look up. Not bad tilt. Rotation. Shoulder hinges out, rotates around. Rotation at the bicep. There for a second, I thought they shared biceps. Same kind of sculpt, but size difference. Magneto's a little bit bigger. He also gets a little bit more range because on those new forearms, they brought the cut down to allow for more articulation. Back and forth and around. Torso hinges forward, arcs back. Didn't talk about the belt a minute ago. It's not glued down, so you can move it up to extend his shorts a little bit to kind of, I don't know, makes it look a little bit more realistic, or you can bring it down to superhero proportions, shows more muscle, more of a Speedo look. But ball at the hip comes forward. Back, not a lot. Not at all, actually. Out, that's becoming a trend. Double knees, well, about right there. It suffers again because not as much cutout as there should have been. Rotation at the boot. Ankle hinges back. Forward, not a lot, and then forward-facing pin. For accessories, Quicksilver in the package comes with 2 fists, but he also comes with 2 flat running hands. And again, because of the articulation, it just hits a nice running stance. Scarlet Witch comes with 2 magical effects. I guess that's what they are. They kind of twist onto her arm. I'm sure I didn't put these on correctly, but I like the look of them as they are. No more mutants. Magneto comes with some tried and true Marvel Legends effects. It's the swirl with the bubbles. But this time it's purple to match Magneto's motif, and there is some glitter thrown in there just for added effect. Also, besides the 2 hands that are manipulating the Earth's magnetic field, he also comes with 2 fists. When powers fail, just punch him in the face. And then we get to the head again. He comes with the normal face, and then he comes with the dark, power using, with the eyes widened out, evil face. Paint on the teeth is kind of spotty, but I like the overall look of this. Now going back to the helmet looking kind of cone-headish, you'll notice the eyes are kind of center of the helmet on both of these. I took some heat, was able to remove the helmet. That peg right there is an absolute pain in the ass. The back one with heat just peeled out. That one I had to come in and actually cut. But cutting out the peg there and then shaving that down a little bit, the back peg still puts it into position, but I can bring the helmet down and move the eyes to the top of the helmet hole. I feel like that fixes it a little bit. The top of his head would be up here. Yes, there's still a little bit of space in the top of the helmet, but way better than it was. You can also see that his chin is sticking out right here out of the bottom. Not a problem over here on this one that I've dropped a little bit. Let's break out the heat gun and see what we can do about this. It's been a while. Let's see if this thing still works. Yep, works fine. This head was a little bit tougher to get out. I had to come around and cut the pin. Thankfully, I had some side cutters that turn, and I could get inside the helmet and kind of clip as I went. Still left some pin in there, again, so it would lock in whenever you put it down. But being able to put the helmet on and drop it further down over the face, losing the eyebrows, it gives him more of kind of an angry look. But I do like this better. It doesn't look so, hey guys, I've got my helmet on, let's go. But you can also use the unmasked head from that other earlier Magneto if you want to use, well, kind of that Jim Lee look. Actually looks better if you put the cape on first. A little bit tan, but not bad. Oddly enough, though, I complained about the size of Quicksilver's head. You can put this onto here, and that works as a makeshift kind of unmasked Magneto. And since we peeled the helmet off, you can have an empty helmet too to go along with that. Finally, if you absolutely hate the swirly twirly darker red of the new Scarlet Witch, you can put the new head on that old body. Skin tones match up pretty well. Red's a little bit dark, but you don't really notice because of all that awesome damn hair. For height, they are all about 6 3/8 inches tall. Here he is with 2 previous Hasbro Magnetos. I am not familiar with this costume at all, but I like the overall look of it. And then I feel like the new one completely beats out this one. Here he is with we're going back now. The Toy Biz Marvel Legends Magneto and the Kyoto Amazing Yamaguchi Magneto. I may have to get another one of these cloth capes for this one. And then you gotta have this comparison, right? Charles, quit trying to make me wet the bed. Drats. Oh, yes, stay. For Scarlet Witch, here she is with an earlier Hasbro Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch. I still like this one. But man, they went above and beyond on that head sculpt on the new one. And she also looks pretty damn good with the retro carded vision. Yes, he should have probably been on a slightly larger body, but this completely works. Plus the swirly twirlies, look, they were made for each other. And then the older Hasbro Quicksilver, the dark ages of Hasbro. Same duck feet, but this one has the hair wings, and I think at some point, did I repaint that? The hair horns aren't perfect, but they're there. I don't know. Head seems more proportional, but it seems like an older sculpting style. It's not terrible though, but you have to mangle the hell out of that older Hasbro figure in order to get the head off. Took a lot of dremeling to get the new style ball joint up into that old style Marvel Legends head. Not sure. Not bad, but So at the end of the day, a very solid Marvel Legends box set. Now when you're talking about classic characters like this, everybody has their own mental image. They have their own personal preferences on what looks they want each of these characters in. You have the hair for Quicksilver, you have the green costume, Scarlet Witch, plethora of different costumes to pull from. Magneto, you either like him big and buff and bulked up, or you're okay with an older rendition that's a little bit scrawnier. Well, really super muscled up scrawny, but you know what I mean. So people are going to find nitpicks all over this set, and even I found some. I tweaked some stuff. I have some possible custom changes to make to it, but you know what? I was doing customs long before I was doing reviews or writing articles about toys. When I first started collecting toys, I, ran into the, oh no, are they going to make this character? Are they going to make this character? So I started customizing, and that's half the fun of it for me. So when people give me shit of, well, you shouldn't have to fix a set that you paid for. It should come perfect. I've been doing this long enough to know nothing's perfect, especially action figures. I like the inner workings. I like the joints. I like proportions. I like the artistry to it. And because I have my own personal preferences, I like making little tweaks and changes that fit my own wants and needs. I probably shouldn't put that in a review where I'm like, this is good, this is bad, you should buy this, you shouldn't buy this. But I also like to have fun with this. Fun is the main factor. And really, when it comes down to it, this set is fun. This is the Magneto for my shelf, and I prefer the evil head. I may go in and kind of punch out the teeth a little bit. Well, not punch out the teeth, but, give a repaint to the teeth, make them a little bit more defined. But I like that look. Quicksilver, I may do some more tweaking on that older Hasbro head, see how it looks on here. But Scarlet Witch, she is staying like this. Like I showed with the comparison with Vision, the swirly twirly plastic, I personally love it. And them two matching like that, that's how they're going on the shelf. So if you like the set, it is an Amazon exclusive. You can find the link down below in the description. Go ahead and click on that. Go buy you one. I'm personally happy with it. You'll have it in a couple days, and you can go making changes too if you so desire. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.